So Qualcomm has released its smartphone for Snapdragon Insiders with the Snapdragon 888, but it's not designed purely by Qualcomm. They did it in partnership with Asus. So what happens if you take a smartphone for Snapdragon Insiders and compare it against the Asus ROG Phone 5? Is one going to be faster than the other? Well, let's find out. So we have the smartphone for Snapdragon Insiders with the Snapdragon 888 on the left-hand side, built in partnership between Qualcomm and Asus. And on the right-hand side, we have Asus's ROG Phone 5, and there's probably a lot of similarities between these two devices. It also has a Snapdragon 888. Now the question is one faster than the other? And if it is faster, by how much? Now we're already into the compression test. It's fairly even at the moment. However, I think there is a bit of a lead, yes, by the Insider phone. It's the first into the 16-thread test. Of course, both of these using the same processor, octa-core processor, 16 threads. This should work pretty well. It's a similar pattern, but I see, look, the ROG phone has got into the lead at that point. It took the lead at that point as we're now into the mixed CPU, GPU part of the test, the blur test. We're now into the infinite scrolling list, and the ROG Phone 5 is still in the lead at this point. It's going to be interesting now when we get to the smoke particle test. Will the Snapdragon be able to do any better than the Snapdragon Insider phone? 34 frames, 28 frames, yes, and now it was the first into the unity test, so it's been one, then the other, then one, then the other as we go now through, and we are now into this first of the 3D tests. Don't worry about the dark screen on the right, that's just about the video recording, not about the actual screen. And which one's going to get to the end of the valley first? Well, I think it definitely was. We're on the left, the Snapdragon Insiders phone, as we now make our way down through this path. Which one will get to the end of the forest first? Which is it going to be? There you go, the Snapdragon Insiders, 1 minute 16.2, and then very close behind, 1 minute 16.6 for the Asus. Okay, let's break down the scores and see exactly what happened. So as we saw there, a narrow victory for the smartphone for Snapdragon Insiders, 1 minute 16.2, and then just 0.4 of a second later, the Asus ROG Phone 5, 1 minute 16.6. What happened in the CPU, actually the Asus won, 34.4 versus 34.1, so 0.3 of a second there. But then when we get into the mixed CPU, GPU, actually it was the Insiders phone that was better, 17.9 versus 18.7. Of course, we saw a much faster frame rate there in the 2D smoke particle test. And then when we get into the GPU, actually the Insider's phone was slightly slow, 23.9 versus 23.6, 0.3 of a second there. But I think because of that victory in the mixed CPU GPU part, it came out on top, 1 minute 16.2. My name is Gary Sims, this is SpeedTest G. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider giving it a thumbs up. And if you like these kind of videos, hey, stick around, subscribe to the channel. Okay, that's it. I'll see you in the next one.